Friends, we can all see that many white bloggers have millions of followers. Please support me too, because my followers are still few. Black bloggers also deserve to be famous. Raised fist medium dark skin tone. My friends, let's unite and lift each other up. Please press subscribe button and like. In the opulent whispered about world of London and Surrey's elite, Richard Coleman was a name that commanded respect. At 58, he was a self-made titan of real estate, a man who had forged his empire with relentless will. He was a creature of refined taste. Bespoke suits, vintage cars, and a sprawling Surrey estate with gardens so vast they felt like a private kingdom. To the world, Richard had everything, but his greatest treasure wasn't his wealth. It was his new wife, Claire Matthews. Claire, 35, was a vision of youthful grace. She was the perfect second act for a man who had lost his first love years before. She was a constant presence by his side at parties, her hand always on his arm, her voice a soft melody in his ear. She seemed to adore him, and Richard, in turn, adored her. She brought a new light into his life, filling his grand house with laughter and a domestic warmth he hadn't known in years. She even insisted on cooking for him herself, a personal touch that charmed him completely. A wife should take care of her husband, she'd say with a sweet smile, and Richard believed he was the luckiest man alive. He was so sure of her love that he couldn't see the poison hidden in plain sight. Just 2 months into their blissful marriage, a sinister pattern emerged. It started with gnawing stomach ache, then escalated to dizzy spells and profound, bone-deep weakness that left him struggling to get out of bed. Doctors were baffled. They attributed his symptoms to stress, to age, to anything but the truth. Richard, too, accepted their easy answers, but a quiet, chilling suspicion began to form. He noticed he felt sick only after eating the food Claire had lovingly prepared. Unseen and often unheard, another woman lived within the walls of Richard's home, Jennifer Lawrence, his maid. At 42, Jennifer was from Birmingham, a woman with a quiet strength forged by a lifetime of hard work and self-sacrifice. She was a black woman who had known more than her share of hardship, but in Richard's home, she found an unexpected kindness. He greeted her by name, asked after her well-being, and gave her Sundays off for church. These small acts of decency cultivated a deep loyalty in Jennifer's heart. She respected him, and that respect made her observant in a way no one else was. One evening, as she was tidying up after a dinner party, Jennifer's quiet efficiency was interrupted by a startling sight. She watched unseen as Claire, thinking herself alone, reached for a small, concealed tin behind a row of spice jars. With a deft flick of her wrist, Claire sprinkled a fine, pale powder into a pot of simmering sauce. She stirred in quickly, humming a tune as if adding an innocent seasoning. But Jennifer's heart pounded a frantic rhythm. Her instincts screamed at her. This was no ordinary spice. Something was terribly, horribly wrong. Later that night, the predictable agony returned. Richard clutched his stomach as Claire stroked his back, whispering, "You'll be fine, darling." From the shadows of the doorway, Jennifer watched. The image of the powder burned into her mind. The next morning, she made a quiet, life-altering decision. She retrieved her old smartphone, a simple device but with a crucial camera and a recorder. The next time Claire was in the kitchen, Jennifer hid herself and pressed record. Capturing the moment, Claire once again added the mysterious powder to Richard's meal. The evidence was damning, but Jennifer knew it wasn't enough. She needed more. Days later, her chance came. She overheard Claire on the phone in the hallway, her voice low and full of a chilling glee. Jennifer's finger hovered over the record button. "Soon, Richard will be gone," Claire whispered, a soft laugh escaping her lips. "All his properties, all his wealth, everything will be mine. I'll finally have the life I deserve." The cold cruelty in Claire's voice made Jennifer's stomach twist. She knew what she had to do. She found Richard alone in his study, looking pale and weakened. With trembling hands, she presented him with her phone. "Sir," she began, her voice soft but urgent, "I need to show you something. Please don't ignore me." Richard, surprised, took the phone. His eyes widened as he watched a video of his wife poisoning his food. "What is this?" he stammered in disbelief. Jennifer's voice broke as she replied, "It's real, sir. I saw her. She's hurting you. Richard, blinded by love, shook his head. No, Claire loves me. She wouldn't. Please, Jennifer pleaded, her voice a fragile whisper. Listen to this, too. She played the voice recording, and Claire's cold, calculating words filled the room. But love and denial can deafen even the most astute man. Richard slammed the phone shut, his face hardened by a chilling rejection. Jennifer, stop this nonsense. You're trying to turn me against my wife. You're just jealous. Jennifer's heart shattered. Tears welled in her eyes as she said, I swear on my life, sir, I only want to save you. Just then, Claire walked in. Her eyes flashed as she saw the phone on the desk and Jennifer's tear-streaked face. Instantly, she feigned shock, gasping dramatically. Darling, what's going on? Richard handed her the phone and explained Jennifer's accusation. Claire's mask of devotion crumbled into a furious performance. What? How could you believe such a lie? She hates me. She wants to destroy us. She dissolved into dramatic tears, and Richard, his faith unshaken, wrapped his arms around her. He turned to Jennifer, his voice a cold blade. You've gone too far. Leave. With a bowed head and tears streaming down her face, Jennifer walked out. Days bled into weeks, and Richard's condition grew worse. Doctors were at a loss. He grew so frail, he could barely walk. Claire, the picture of a devoted wife, sat by his side, spooning him soup, each mouthful a slow dose of poison. Jennifer watched, a helpless ache in her heart. One evening, Richard collapsed in the garden, gasping for air. As he lay in bed that night, staring at the ceiling, the words from the recordings echoed in his mind. Claire's chilling laughter, Jennifer's desperate eyes. The seeds of doubt, once dismissed, began to take root. What if Jennifer had been telling the truth? The next morning, with a last flicker of strength, he called for her. When she entered, he reached out a trembling hand. Jennifer, forgive me. I should have listened. Do you still have those recordings? With a tearful nod, she confirmed she had kept everything. She not only showed him the original evidence, but knew damning recordings where Claire, growing careless, had plotted a faster end for him. Richard listened, his face a mask of pale horror. The truth hit him like a physical blow. The woman he had given his heart to had been systematically killing him for his money. With Jennifer's unwavering help, Richard contacted the police. The evidence was irrefutable. That afternoon, officers arrived and arrested Claire. Her mask shattered completely, replaced by a venomous rage. You'll regret this, Richard, she screamed as they led her away. Richard sat in his bed, tears streaming down his face, the betrayal a deeper wound than the poison. But Jennifer was there, holding his hand, a silent, comforting presence. Weeks later, he was recovering in the hospital, alive because of her. She never left his side, bringing him water, praying for him, encouraging him to fight. When he finally returned home, the house was different. Quieter, yes, but free of the suffocating lies. He filed for divorce, severing all ties with Claire. One evening, as he sat in his study, he looked at Jennifer, his eyes filled with gratitude. You saved my life, he said softly. I didn't believe you, but you never gave up. You stood for the truth, even when it cost you everything. Jennifer offered a faint smile. Sir, I only did what was right. Sometimes the truth hurts, but it saves. Richard nodded, his heart full. He had spent his life chasing fortune, but he realized then that the greatest wealth wasn't in his bank account or properties. It was in loyalty, courage, and the simple truth spoken by a quiet, overlooked soul. The story of Richard Coleman became a cautionary tale, a lesson that evil often hides behind a beautiful face, but truth, though often quiet, always finds a way to shine. Appearances can deceive, and sometimes the most profound love and courage belong to the person who is the most overlooked.